Bearded Board Games is proud to announce the release of Renee Altenbogard's Locked Out on Kickstarter August 13th. You might remember Renee's game won the Design a Lunchtime Game competition through the Game Crafter last year. We have been working hard with Renee to bring his amazing game to market. Click on the link at eatlunchandboardgame.com to be notified on its launch. And now, on with the episode. Welcome back to the Lunch Board Game. I'm your host, Adam Collins, and with me today is game designer and author Devon Truvel. How you doing?
I'm doing amazing. We actually just got back from visiting Tulsa's Black Wall Street yesterday, so I'm happy to be back and happy to hop on this podcast with you to have a good conversation.
Yeah, we were just out there in March. We went out there. It was about a 6-hour drive from St. Louis, so not too bad. Where are you calling from?
We're in Southern California, right outside of Los Angeles.
So I'm assuming you didn't drive.
So most definitely didn't drive, and we also went with 12 people, so that it would have been an extreme bonding experience to road trip from California to Tulsa. Not quite an experience I think I want at this time. Maybe with family someday, but yeah, no, we definitely hopped on American Airlines.
Nice. Yeah. So when we were getting ready to go to Tulsa, we wanted to stop by Black Wall Street, and we were looking for a way to explain to the kids what it was, what happened, the whole thing. And so we were on Amazon, and your book came up. And of course, as soon as it says, by the same guy that made the game, I'm like, there's a game too. So I picked up the game from your website, and I picked up the book from Amazon. And so, yeah, as soon as we got back, I wanted to reach out to you, and through some technical difficulties and scheduling conflicts, we finally get around to it. So
We're here.
Absolutely. So what inspired you? What came first, the book or the game?
The game came first.
Okay. All right. And so the game, Play Black Wall Street, it's kind of deceptively, I don't say complex, but it's definitely deceptively a lot more complicated than you initially think when you start. Because you see it, you think, oh, it's just a Monopoly rebrand. And yet it's totally not. The idea, first of all, the colors aren't together. So you're not trying to collect the 3 blue on one side of the board. The 3 blue could be all over the board. And
sure, I'm a visual person, so
yeah.
I know. I know not everyone's going to be looking at the video, and some people are just going to be in the amazing audio experience. It's going to be great, but here is the board, and like Adam was saying, when you're going around the board, you're landing on real businesses from Tulsa Black Wall Street, and it's all spread out, right? So in Monopoly, all the very high value real estate properties are towards the end. The very low value real estate properties are at the beginning, and it kind of gradually increases. Whereas in Black Wall Street, the board game, anywhere can be high value, low value, medium value businesses, not real estate properties, businesses that existed in Tulsa's Black Wall Street 100 years ago.
Yes. And then once you land on it, you have the choice of purchasing it or just visiting it and paying rent, but it's not really rent because you're paying it back to the game unless somebody owns it. Then other things happen. So it was a very interesting game. Our game unfortunately ended with the massacre card. So but there's a lot, like you say, in the rule book is also a great teaching aid, talking about the game, the game, but then also talking about Black Wall Street. What they are actual businesses, as you mentioned, and it was a lot of fun, and yet it's also kind of somber as you're playing this game.
Yeah, and thank you for sharing your experience with us. I think we really wanted to stay true to the history of Tulsa's Black Wall Street, which is very difficult to do knowing the violent story that is involved in it. And just like in real life, the actual Black Wall Street didn't end with the massacre, right? That was a huge barrier and a huge challenge in that story. But after the massacre, what they talk about in the Greenwood Rising Museum, and if you ever have the pleasure of going to Greenwood, you definitely need a tour from Terry Backus, and he'll go through the full experience of Tulsa rebuilding from 1926 to about the 1950s, bigger and better than it was before the riots, before the massacre. But unfortunately, in the 1960s and 1970s, we saw a wave of urban renewal, uh, gentrification, basically, that kind of ultimately ended Black Wall Street. But in the game, when that card comes up, you do have the choice to continue to rebuild. And on the card, it does ask you, will you rebuild just like some of our ancestors rebuilt Tulsa's Black Wall Street? And, depending on when you get the card, Adam, some people get it like in the first 15, 20 minutes, and they're like, oh, yeah, let's rebuild. Some people get it at the very end. It's been 45 minutes, it's been an hour. They have LLCs, corporations, and they've built up this huge empire. And then the massacre happens, and then they're like, okay, forget it. The game's over. But either way, it's a huge lesson in resilience, and it's a huge lesson in empathy, right? Because
Yeah,
so we've seen students, we've seen parents play the game and get viscerally upset, and it's a game. So
yeah,
just imagine, what real people went through 100 years ago when they lost everything with no payment.
right. And still not getting the payment, still tied up in court. And there was
Correct.
just an announcement a couple weeks ago of one of the survivors, and they still. I mean the real. I mean, there's a lot of real tragic stuff that happened there, but the fact they don't know how many people died, where they're buried, that's all just insane to even think about. They don't even know how many
Right.
people died. Mass graves that nobody knows where they are now. It was
Yep.
something, but the museum was good. Um, we walked through it. There was some one or two different shortcuts in case you didn't want to see some of the more disturbing, I think was the word they used, images, graphic images. But it was a very nice museum, very well laid out, and took you through the whole thing, and kind of come out the other side. And like any other good museum, you come out the other side and there's a gift shop. So, but it was. Then there was the park across the street, and I'm sure you went over there, and they had like the fountain and the park and all that across the way. And but one of the other things during the urban renewal was they put that interstate right through it and cut it in half and made
Correct.
it so much harder to rebuild and stay connected because yeah, they did a lot to keep it from coming back. So
And not only did it make it hard, it made it nearly impossible. Because with that highway, they also implemented eminent domain on the other side of the highway, which sounds good when you're offered $8,000 or $5,000 for your plot of land. But and then if you refuse to sell your house, refuse to sell your plot of land, then the government forced you to sell it to them, and then they charged you for the excavation of that land. So then you went into $5,000 or $10,000 worth of debt, and that's the land now that there's some, I think, pond reservoirs there. There's the Oklahoma State University on that side. There's a baseball field now. So they're literally, with that highway and eminent domain, made it impossible to rebuild. But for through our board game, what we're hoping people get is the real stories behind Tulsa Black Wall Street. They get exposed to some of the real businesses that were alive and thriving and very successful during that time, and learn more than just the massacre, and learn more than just the bombing, because there's much more histories, lessons, and triumph, I think, to learn through the legacy of Tulsa's Black Wall Street.
yeah, and I want to go back to the gameplay because
That's good.
it is, yeah, it's a solid game, and it's not like I said, it's going to look like Monopoly, but it is not Monopoly. And you can, like you said, making the LLCs, making the partnerships or the corporations, and as you're going through, there's decisions that you have to make, whether or not you want to invest in your own companies or not. And then um, there was like they're not chance and community chess. What are they called? Your
So there's
cards.
venture cards. Yeah, there's venture cards, and at the beginning of the game, every player pulls a venture card, and on this venture, it has a secret mission, right? And it could be to own Madam CJ Walker's beauty parlor. It could mean to visit the library. It could say to create 3 LLCs, and whatever it is that is on the venture. If you achieve it, then you get venture capital, right? You get money that's connected to that mission. So that's a fun way of just having your own secret mission throughout the game, negotiating with other players, and they don't know, are they doing this because it's a good deal for me, or are they doing this like we had training with our team, and we had 10 people playing the game, and they know like the complex rules, and it got pretty heated with the venture cards and negotiations. But there's venture cards, and then there's draw cards, and on the draw cards, it might say to go to certain businesses. It might say you have to pay double for certain businesses based on context. It might say you have to pay taxes. And some of the cards are historically relevant, and some of the cards are just kind of everyday. You have a job interview, you go to the barbershop to get your haircut kind of cards.
Yeah, no, and the venture cards were fun. And I'll tell you, when you play this game, and you should play this game, money is scarce and hard to come by until you really kind of get it going, and which is fun
Yeah,
because like a Monopoly, you come around go to get $200 more, like punch right into your pocket. But this one, the passing go is not nearly as fruitful, and it takes some time. It takes some trips on that board and to get that engine going, and to get some investments moving, and you really have to make a decision. I don't recommend going on just buying everything up like you do in Monopoly. There's no houses and
definitely don't.
hotels, so that you got to be more strategic in what you're doing. Which made for, I mean, it was like, I think after the first two trips are on the board and you realize, hey, this isn't Monopoly. I should probably play this differently. Then you're like, oh man, I messed up those first two trips.
Yeah. I think I don't know if maybe it's the board shape, or because it's a game that has cards and money, people
In the colors,
automatically
yep.
think Monopoly. In the colors, they automatically go to it. But like you said, Adam, there's a completely different game mechanic, different strategy to playing the game. And if I can give folks maybe one tip on playing once they get the card or once they get the game, that would be, if you can make an LLC, make an LLC, right? And if you're unfamiliar, as soon as you buy any business in Black Wall Street, the board game, it's a sole proprietor, right? SP, and that's the easiest way to start a business in real life and in the game. You can invest money, and depending on the different markets, there's orange, which are restaurants, there's green, which are grocery stores, there's light blue, which are education-based companies, there's black, which are barbershops and beauty salons, etc. It's going to be a different price to invest in your business to take it to the next level. But you want to invest in your business, take from a sole proprietor to a LLC, because you literally double, sometimes triple the income that you'll make when a player lands on you. All right, so just that small investment will change, I think, the acceleration of your income and cash flow when you're playing the game.
Absolutely. And we figured that out. And then all of a sudden, the next round, we're all making LLCs because we realized, hey, wait a minute. I got to make
Yep.
money. And the only way to make money is to spend money and invest. So, yeah, it was fun kind of playing with some people that I played with, because we play a lot of games together. And so as we play, we kind of know what each other are going to do. And then, like, you can also kind of see like the light bulb turning on, like, oh, I get this game now. So how long
Yeah.
did it take you to develop the game?
Ooh, great question. So the idea came from a summer camp in July 2017, and we were sold out of first editions by November 2018. So it took about 9 months to go from idea to prototype, and then a couple extra months to go from prototype to first edition.
Well, it's not bad. I mean, but when
Yeah.
you have, I mean, that's it's not bad at all. I mean, I've taken years to develop a game that's still not done. So that's
Yeah.
not bad. So how many people were working with you on this, your team?
It was three people. It was myself, my amazing smarter half, aka Queen Sinclair. Hey, always got to give shout outs to our partners on here. And then one of my really good friends, Markel, who did the graphics behind the game.
And that's another thing. I like the graphic art on there. The little bit of art that's in there is it's fun. It's kind of lighthearted. It's nice. It's family friendly. So no, that's
Yep.
cool. It's good. You got a good team
So you
behind
should
you on that.
see. Oh, yeah, if you love the graphics on the classic edition, you would absolutely love the masterpiece edition, which is our limited run of the game. And we actually featured paintings that were commissioned from artists all around the world, and only 3,000 games would ever be printed of the masterpiece edition.
Nice.
So I think if you're getting this for your family, classic edition 100%. But if you love art and visuals, that masterpiece edition is literally a work of art.
Awesome. I'll have to see if I can free up some funds for that. Maybe. Like, no.
Understood.
This is a different game. No, it just has the same name.
Yeah.
It's a different game.
You gotta get
So
approval from the treasurer. I
that's
understand.
right. Right. My smarter, better half. So
Hmm.
so what is your day job? What do you do for a living?
Yeah. So at this point, Play Black Wall Street is the full time day job.
Awesome.
What we do is it's so awesome. Listen, because I started in 2017, and then I was working in education, specifically a college recruiter for the UC system, and have been doing that from since 2016 all the way through 2021. Then after that, started working for a nonprofit focusing in on African centered pedagogy and curriculum, which is very helpful for what I do in Play Black Wall Street. But as of 2023, I've been able to be full time with Play Black Wall Street. We do game nights across mostly California, but we're happy to hop on a plane or a long distance road trip and service that as well. We also teach financial literacy within schools in the Southern California area, teaching students elementary all the way to high school how to go from idea to branding to identifying their unique value proposition to pitching their business idea. So this is me being a gamer and a teacher full time.
Fantastic. What a dream, right?
Literally, literally a
Oh.
dream. We took so we have a pitch competition that we do with our students at the end of each cohort, and our last winners decided that they wanted to go to Six Flags. So we were at Six Flags during the summer having a good time, and I looked over at my wife and I was like, this is our job. It's Tuesday, 11 a.m., and we're about to get on X2, and this is our job. Like, this is amazing.
That's a yeah. Yeah, that's all. Yeah, I work in higher ed too on a completely different level than you do or did. I'm a project manager for one of the local campuses here on getting buildings built and repairs done and stuff like that. So not
Nice.
quite as fun as going to Six Flags in the middle of the day. But we
But you're the reason why all these campuses are always under construction.
yes, yeah. And why you can't use that road you just used yesterday?
That's you. Okay, noted. Noted.
Yep,
Next time.
that's me. I'm the guy. I'm not the guy setting up the road cones, but I am the reason why they're there. Um,
Understood.
so you say you're a gamer. What game are you guys currently playing on your? What's out right now?
Oh, great question. Really, we've been stuck in this rabbit hole of Black Wall Street, the board game, and actually working on another game like that we're creating. I try not to play too many other games because I don't want it to look like we're biting from other people, right? And we get compared to Monopoly all the time.
Mhm.
We get compared to other games all the time. So I really try to keep my palette as clean as possible and just really make up games just through thin air and see what sticks to the wall, what we can come up with. So
Yeah.
at this moment, we're really in our own universe.
Well, it's interesting you have another game coming out. I'll keep my eye out for that. I'm on your email list, so I'm assuming I'll be made aware when that comes out.
100%,
What's your
100%.
timeline looking like?
We got two in the barrel.
Ooh.
One is very history based, and it will be very similar to not Black Wall Street, the board game, but a board game adventure type game. And the other one, we're trying to step into the party scene, the cool kid, like just the cards. You know, Adam, I'm
Yeah,
trying to
yeah.
be cool. At least my staff, they're calling me old these days.
Hey, that happens. I mean, the
You know?
last gaming group I had at my office, I was the oldest by, oh my goodness, by 6 years, and to the next to the next oldest person, and I was like over a decade older than some of these other people, and I'm like, I'm not that old, guys, and they're like,
Right.
yeah, you are.
Yeah. We have people on our team. They asked me and my wife. They're like, so is there a big difference between someone who's born in 2003 and 2004? We were like, please stop talking to us. We don't. You were born in 2004. We didn't know that when we hired you. Goodness.
Yeah.
Um, but we're looking at doing another board game that's based on a different Black Wall Street community. Because of course, there's Black Wall Street communities or examples of ethno aggregation all across America, and what we're trying to do is teach those different examples in fun ways. So we're going to make a different board game, different game mechanics, different rules, and it's going to be really fun. And then another one is going to be a fun card game that students or adults can play at like game nights, family reunions, barbecues, things like that. That's a little bit quicker, but still in alignment with our financial literacy, Black history themes.
So when you are teaching this, what age groups are you usually hitting?
For the board game, we do a lot of fourth grade and up,
Okay.
right? So we have game nights, and our programs are usually fourth grade and up. And really, the fourth and fifth grade started this or just last fall. Our primary audience before that were high school students and community college students.
Yeah. That's that's kind of what I was thinking, was that age group, that the teenagers,
Yep.
the 13, 14 to, yeah, freshman, sophomore of college. So, yeah, that's cool. Fourth grade. Wow. Do you take your book and read that to them to start?
I, I have. So the book that you're talking about, the Black History Adventures of Rose and Rodney, have read that book to them. Some of them think it's a little bit long, at least when they saw it and they looked through it. But and then when I read it, I'm kind of animated and I keep them engaged, so
Sure.
I didn't worry about it too much. But yeah, that game or that book is about Rose and her little brother Rodney, who travel back in time to visit Tulsa's Black Wall Street. Book one is out. I'm working on a series of 7 books for that one season. Well, they'll go through a true adventure in Tulsa's Black Wall Street and attempt to save it. And then it's going to be an animated series later on as well.
Oh,
So we're
fantastic.
really, thank you, really trying to hit it from all different, as far as teaching Black history and teaching financial literacy. We wrote the book because our families were playing the games, but then they were like, we have a 4-year-old, a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old who can't play the game yet. Are there other things that you have that we can teach our younger students? And we were like, this was back in, I think, 2019. We didn't have a book at that point. So we wrote the book for that reason.
That makes
So just
sense.
trying to give, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, trying to give different modalities for students and families to engage with the same history no matter where they are in their journey.
So I have to ask, when you play the game, do you have a specific color that you like to be?
It's a great question. Oh, the pawn pieces. So I
Yeah.
go blue because blue is my favorite color. Blue is definitely my favorite color. The queen usually chooses either pink or black. So blue is never, at least when I'm playing just against her head to head, which is always challenging because she is not the undisputed champion, but she won the first 3 4 times we played the game, which I have to live with now, Adam. I have to live with it.
Hey,
I can never.
hey. I this past weekend, we played the game that my business partner and I came up with. I played it for the first time in a long time, and I won. And I was like, "What? I won? Yes!" Because usually I don't win. I'm just like, I usually come in second or third, but like, it's like, whoa,
Mm,
I won. Yes, doesn't happen
nice.
often.
What kind of what's the theme or premise of the game you are
So
we're working on?
it's called Fences, and it's a tile laying game. So you're just you're trying to build farms and fences and fence in animals. You get points based on how many animals you can fence in.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a fun little light game that you can play way too intensely as we do. So
Of course.
yeah. I
You,
mean,
is
there's
that one
no other.
coming out this Christmas
Oh, that's
next
all.
year?
That's
What we?
already out. That one's already
Oh,
out.
perfect.
Yeah, and then we got a new one hitting Kickstarter actually tomorrow. That we, yeah, that we found via this podcast, and it'll be.
Mm.
It's called Locked Out. It's a fun game where you're all like on a spaceship. You all stole a bunch of money from a bank, and you're off on the spaceship that realizes you shouldn't be on it, so it locks you out of the computer, and you're trying to unlock it before the authorities catch you. Yeah,
That sounds fun. I love escape rooms, and that's the vibe that's giving me.
yeah, yeah. The good old escape rooms. You always, to me, the only thing that always slows me down in an escape room is just the start. How is
Mm.
this? How is this one set up? What do I need to be looking for to start this escape room? And then once you kind of get the first couple clues, and you're like, oh, okay, so that's how this was going to be like this. Because man, the one I was in, like, we were getting so frustrated, and finally it was like we had to sit down in these desks in the order that the announcement was coming through, and we were like,
Interesting.
never would have picked up on that. But like we're like,
Mm-hmm.
some like we had to ask for help or something, and like, oh, you just got to sit down in the chair in the order that they're calling out the students. It's like, I'm tuning that background sound out to focus on the
Mm-hmm.
room I'm in, and I need to be listening to the background sound. So that was one of the weirdest beginnings to an escape room I've ever had. So,
I feel like you really have to divide and conquer when it comes to escape rooms and just have people listen or pay attention to different things. I found like when I'm in an escape room with certain people and everyone's looking for, clues at the same time and looking using the same senses, it takes forever. But I'm like, hey, you do this, you do that, you do this. We get the momentum faster.
yeah. Yeah. But everybody wants to do the fun stuff. Not everybody wants to be sitting
Right.
down or listening to the announcement. They want to be opening drawers and opening doors and flipping things
Finding lock
over.
combinations. Yep.
Yeah. Finding the right combination. Try 4, 7, 2, and you're like, what? Yeah.
Where did that come from?
Yeah, like, well, there's 4 of these and 7 of those and 2 of those. You think that's a combination? Whoever comes up with those are geniuses. Yeah, so Locked Out. Yeah,
Locked Out Kickstarter tomorrow. Y'all go support.
That's right. But yeah, I mean, it's like I said, we got I completely stumbled across you and your company, Play Black Wall Street, because we were going to Tulsa and we were looking for something to teach. Let's see, she was 5 and he was 11, so we were just looking for something. Found your book, and the book said, same creator of the board game, and I'm like, well, we're a board gaming family, so we'll grab that too. Mm-hmm. And it's a lot of fun. I like the game. Got to play it some more, but we're kind of moving the games around right now. So to be honest, I'm not sure where it is.
You'll find it at the perfect time.
Yeah, we'll find it when we're meant to. A lot of games are piled where they shouldn't be, and there's stuff everywhere. So
as long as you have it stacked on top of Monopoly, I have no problem.
Absolutely. That's all. I don't even know where my Monopoly is. I think it's buried over in the bottom of a shelf somewhere. But Play answer. Black Wall Street, that's the website as well, playblackwallstreet.com. You can pick up the standard edition or the masterpiece edition. There's not another edition, right? There's just those two.
We discontinued our second edition. So if y'all have those out there somewhere, congratulations. Those are no longer being created. And we replaced the second edition with the classic edition.
Edition.
It's a lot of this. Yeah, a lot of the same gameplay. But we improved the board a little bit with some QR codes to resources like courses, a downloadable rule book, a how-to guide to play the game and stuff like that. We changed the sizes of some of those spaces. We added a tangible bank and mold inside of the game, so it's a nice divider for the money, for the dice, a nice mold for an organizer, which our distributor said cost too much and we shouldn't do that, but we decided against it. Full color money in there, which our distributor also said that we shouldn't do, but we decided against it.
What do they know?
And yeah, what do they know? They're so our thing, and eventually we are going to have to make some wiser decisions, Adam. But especially at the beginning of our gaming career, we wanted to make sure that the game was high quality.
Yep.
The first edition that we released, we couldn't really afford the best games, so it's like whoever has the first edition, thank you so much. I know that money was terrible. I know the board was not great quality, but with each edition, we found better manufacturers and we've just made small changes to make it a quality board game, high quality board game. And now that we are, trying to scale and we're talking to distributors, they're like, yeah, no, we got to cut those costs a little bit and make it a lower cost game so that we can sell it for lower as well. So
yeah, well, that's what they like. But you're 100% right, and that's part of making games. It's
right.
the sacrificing, stretch goals or upgrades or whatever. I mean, it's always something that you could make a big pack of money on the side, and if somebody wants to upgrade their money, then they could upgrade their money through you. But the box organizers, man, those are worth their weight in gold. Anything that helps the game be sorted to put away, to help set up because it's already sorted. I mean, that kind of stuff, man, that's the stuff that you can't. Some of the most irritating games, like I'll throw it under the bus right now. Catan is such a huge game and it has like the worst box organization. It doesn't even work. It's like, who designed this? And but then some other ones, they have like viticulture comes completely separated out for you, and you're like, see, it's but that the cost is there. That's where they spend a lot of money making that plastic vacuum formed box organizer. I mean, ours doesn't even have a box organizer, so it's just a bunch of tiles that you stack them all up and lay the cards and shut the lid. It all goes in.
It all works.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the not fun part. I think the fun part and what I sometimes wish the mold or the mode you can stay in is the game creation, the gameplay, the focus groups, the getting the feedback. That is the really fun part. What's not fun afterwards is doing the cost segregation and figuring out, okay, what's going to be our profits per game and what's our ship. The business side sometimes isn't fun. Definitely important. 100% out. You need that. You need it. You can't just, create games and iterate all day, but that is definitely not the fun part.
Yeah, no, it's not, but you got to do it.
Yeah. 100%.
It's how the lights stay on.
Yep.
All of a sudden you're working in the dark. You're like, man, I should have paid more attention to the profit per game.
Right. It's costing $45 a game and I'm selling it for 30. Something's wrong.
Yeah. I was talking to some people. They were talking about how they had this game idea and everything, and I was looking at their game and I'm like, you got to do something to get this down in cost, because you can't have that many different punch outs, because if you go into games that have punch outs and then every one of those trees is a different stamp, a different punch, and that's why when you buy some of these games, yeah, they waste a corner, but they don't care because they didn't want to pay for a different size piece of cardboard and a different punch just to save that little bit of they're like, no, I'm like, you got to figure out something to make these the same size so that you don't have to have multiple punches. Oh my gosh, yeah, because otherwise your cost per game is going to be outrageous, and then you're going to make a profit. It's going to have to be even more outrageous.
Exactly.
So, but it's funny that they told you don't do this. Like, come on, man. Like, that's the other thing is you want a product that you're happy with and that you want to take out there and you want to sell. So I understand. I get it.
Yeah.
They always say, be ready to put it out there. Put out what you want.
Exactly. So game designers out there that are listening, you can do it too. We can do it. If Devon can do it, if Adam can do it, you can do it too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Devon, I want to thank you for being on the show today. If anybody wants to reach out to you, how can they do that?
Amazing. Well, first off, yes, thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you for thinking of us as a research tool and a supplement to your amazing trip to Greenwood's
Oh,
Black Wall Street.
absolutely.
And we hope that, other families have the same mindset. And if folks want to stay in contact with me, they can go to playblackwallstreet.com. Again, that's playblackwallstreet.com. Everything spelled out normal. On there, you can reach out via the website contact form. You can also scroll all the way to the bottom and follow us on Instagram or subscribe to our YouTube channel, all from that same website, playblackwallstreet.com. Looking forward to getting in contact with you all and answering your rule questions, because I know you're not going to read the rule book, because nobody reads the rule book anymore, Adam. I don't know why. No one reads the rule book.
That used to be the thing, right? Like you had to have like a good set of rules. Now you just need somebody to make a good YouTube video. That's what it is now. Yeah, you're 100% right. You bust out a rule book and it's like, it's like a novella, and you're like, nope, I'll go watch a 30-minute how-to video instead.
A novella. That's exactly what happened.
I just did that with the game Concordia. I took the rule book out and I'm like, ooh, it's got some heft to it. I'm sure there's a video I can watch.
Yep. So I guess we got to make more rule videos, but until then, there is a really good rule book with a lot of good key terms, a lot of scenarios in there, some good like a business model canvas in case you're interested in starting your own business, all types of powerful stuff inside that rule book that again comes free or included with your game. So a lot of great value. Playblackwallstreet.com. Make sure y'all check it out. And then make sure y'all also support Adam's Kickstarter coming out, Locked Out. Come on.
That's right. And if you want to reach out to me, it's eatlunchandboardgame@gmail.com or on Facebook at facebook.com/eatlunchandboardgame. And remember, board games build bridges. When you're gaming, why not be comfy? Go over to supportplayer.org. Click on the cards, pieces, and dice to get some merch. These t-shirts are some of the most comfortable I have ever worn. That's supportplayer.org, and there's a link on eatlunchandboardgame.com.